What is up, pod racers? Welcome back to the Coruscant Courier podcast with your host, Mark and Jonathan. We are the Senate of Star Wars.
Now this is podcasting. Hello, everyone. Nice to have you on the show today. This is Jonathan. This is my brother Mark, and we are the hosts of the Coruscant Courier. So we have some incredible talking points for you guys today. And of course, all of you Star Wars fans out there, I'm sure you're as excited about the Clone Wars as we are. Right, Mark?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yeah, we're recording this just a few days after episode 10 came out of basically episode 2 of the Mandalorian arc with Darth Maul and AHSOKA, and it has been fabulous, to say the least.
It has been incredible. I know we were kind of just waiting for it to speed up in the original arc. I mean, the Bad Batch was kind of fun. Then we kind of got to the Martez sisters, and it kind of just slowed down. So we're like, man, when is Clone Wars going to become, the crazy Clone Wars that we know? And so we got to episode 9, and I felt like the series just came alive.
Well, it was basically a movie. Like, it was so much different than anything we had ever seen before. Like, there was just a clear difference between the Martez sisters arc and then the Ahsoka arc. Just a clear difference.
Oh yeah, it really was. It was like an entirely different show. And then, of course, you and I were speculating before the episode, like, who are we going to see? What's going to happen? When are we going to see Maul? Are we going to get to see some of his underground crime syndicate? And you and me had been talking. We're like, I wonder if we're going to see Dryden Voss. And what do you know? We see Dryden Voss, of course, in the 10th episode. And then the 9th episode, we get to see this crazy reunion between Anakin and Ahsoka, which hits you in the feels, and you realize, oh my gosh, this is the last time they're going to see each other before, well, Rebels, when Ahsoka confronts him after he's trying to kill Ezra.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of emotional. It's like, oh, this is the last time, because in Rebels she says that the last time I saw Anakin he was running off to save the Chancellor. So we know that that's coming next. So I wanted to start at the beginning of episode 9 and just kind of walk through that without having to
bounce around.
Just bounce around. Yeah, let's just walk through like beginning of the episode. First thing we see Anakin. Well, we see Obi-Wan, or almost. So we see the clones. Cody's about to get shot, and then Obi-Wan in his freaking episode 3 costume outfit pops up and is just a boss. So what were your thoughts there the first time you saw Obi-Wan? Because I got chills. Like, I was like, he's my favorite character. He's the bomb.
Well, and
so it was huge.
Even seeing him was awesome, but it was almost like the animation looked a little different, and it kind of honestly felt like it was an actual live action movie for a second, until of course they zoomed in closer and you're like, oh, it still is animated. But seeing Obi-Wan get up there was legit. And then as that scene started to unfold, and we seen Anakin just step in while this big war is going on, and is just standing there taking fire from like 1,000 droids. He's like, 1,000 droids, no big deal. This is nothing. And he walks out there and surrenders, which of course we all knew the second he did it. Oh, this is a play. He's not being serious. And of course they believe him, and the commando droid calls the other droid an idiot, basically, and then Anakin calls all the clone troopers who have jetpacks. That was unexpected.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
It's like jet troopers. It was like Battlefront again, like playing Star Wars Battlefront, the original Battlefront 2.
Well, I love the moment there that he had with like R2 and then Rex, and you saw that one clone. It was like, just a little while longer, guys. And he's like, or whatever he said. I forget what he said, but
oh no, he said,
just a really funny moment.
He's like, just hanging a little longer, and I was just like, ha ha ha, that's a good pun. I love the subtle Star Wars puns. They're good at those.
Yeah, it was just really cool to see how Anakin was just a complete boss there and was just really edging closer to Vader more and more. Like we saw the confidence, and you saw Obi-Wan saying like you're overdoing it again.
Oh yeah,
So it was really cool to see that brothership as well, and just to see how Anakin kicked butt. So
it was really cool. And of course, as the episode continued to progress, we pretty much just Ahsoka pops in pretty quickly right after that. Obi-Wan gets that transmission, and we see Ahsoka come back in, and Anakin is like staring. He just stares for about a good 5 seconds. It almost feels too long. It's very awkward.
yeah, yeah, it
Um,
was. And she was using um, the Fulcrum channel, and that's cool that Anakin created that. So there's more. Um, there's even more canon stuff happening. So that was really cool.
yeah,
But
connecting that to Rebels was really cool. And also,
yeah,
a lot of people were saying that's a continuity error, but it really isn't because the Fulcrum was more of a code name for Ahsoka more than a channel that they operated on.
right,
Of course, there was 3 Fulcrum agents, which we know to be Ahsoka, Cassian Andor, of course, of Rogue One, and the third one becomes Agent Callus. At least to our knowledge, those are the only 3. There could be more that we don't know of yet that at least didn't make it to Star Wars Rebels. So,
right.
so it's really cool just to see them tied in. And I think as the 9th episode continued to unfold, we continue to see more and more tie-ins to Episode 3, which was crazy.
Ugh,
Um,
yeah,
when so let obviously we don't want to necessarily break down every single bit and piece of the episode, but after Bo-Katan and Ahsoka get there, they get into this meeting with Obi-Wan. Um, as the episode continues to progress, um, we see them basically talk with Obi-Wan about trying to get the Jedi Council's help. And of course, the Jedi Council is, we know, not going to go for it. And so they decide, hey, let's just send Rex as we'll send Rex and we'll send Ahsoka as an advisor. So that goes down. They get over to
Commander Rex.
Commander Rex, and of course they.
About time he got promoted. Like my gosh.
Well, how
Like
does it
what?
work? How does it work in Star Wars? Didn't they say Commander is not as high, or it is higher?
No, then Captain. It's higher than Captain. Yeah. So next thing above Commander is, well, I'm thinking Empire could be Commodore and then Admiral. So
Everyone heard Commodore said in
I guess it's
Star Wars.
General. I don't know. There's a lot of them, but yeah, Commander's definitely above that. And then next step might be General, but could be wrong. So
But yeah. Anyway, it was just kind of cool to see all that meeting, and of course, nothing really big time happens until they really get on the planet and they're looking for Maul. It's kind of just the typical stuff that happens on Mandalore, assassination attempts. Pretty much you'd expect. They shoot the Prime Minister to make sure he hasn't spilled the beans on the big secret, and that was the fact that Maul had this vision about someone named Skywalker.
yeah, that was episode 9 was awesome, and I think it bled into episode 3 a lot quicker than I thought it would. I thought we'd eventually get to episode 3, but then basically them practically starting the episode saying that they could be to Coruscant within the hour, like that to me, I was like, whoa, chill, this is awesome.
I don't think any of us expected it to progress that quickly.
No, and then episode 10, we we get to hear all this stuff about Maul and how he like Maul. I think we said it to each other like Maul freaking knows, like he knows, I think we always kind of thought he knew something, but we didn't know what.
Yeah, we knew he
Like
knew
or how
about Order
much he knew.
66. We knew that he had some sort of knowledge because he would have been let in on the plan, at least on the base
Right.
level. Um,
Right.
But, well, yeah, that's how episode 9 ends, is we see him and Ahsoka finally meet up, and then 10 picks up right where 9 leaves off, and he begins to talk about this grand plan, that he thinks it might already be going on, which was insane. We're like, oh my gosh, Maul knows. But then as it keeps going, we hear him say, I was looking for Kenobi, and I think you and me initially, when we heard that we're
Oh,
just like, oh, of
everybody.
course he just wants to
Yeah,
kill
he wants
Obi-Wan.
revenge.
He
Of
just wants to
course.
kill Obi-Wan. That's all that's all he wants. But that wasn't the case, was it, Mark?
No, it was not. Yeah, whenever he in episode 10 starts talking about, um, we're jumping all over the place like we thought we wouldn't, but
You
it
expected
starts
Star
talking
Wars. There's so
about,
much good stuff.
right, um, taking the Emperor's prize from him, or the Emperor Palpatine, Sidious's prize. It's like,
Prize
so
pupil.
really, yeah. Ultimately, Maul. I think. I mean, I think he wanted both. I think he wanted to kill Kenobi, or he was hoping Kenobi would help him. I don't know. But ultimately, he wanted to kill Anakin, which is wild. And also it's kind of laughable to think that he could even compete with Anakin. I mean, like Ahsoka gave him a pretty good run. I don't think, especially Anakin and Obi-Wan, like I don't know. I think Maul
Uh,
was being a little. I don't know.
I
I don't
don't
know what
think.
he had
See,
planned,
I
but
don't think Maul was trying particularly very hard against Ahsoka because he didn't want to kill her. Because do you recall after they got up, after they finished their fight, he's like, "One more chance, join me or die." Because I don't think he wanted to
yeah,
kill her. I think he was honestly just trying to evade. Um, because I think he knows something else that he's not saying, that maybe that she's the key to something else, not just Anakin.
no, it's probably the
So
key to Anakin. Well, because whenever he got into Jesse's mind, I don't know what he saw. I
we
don't know,
don't. Yeah, we
but
don't know. We don't know what he did when he was pulling that clone trooper's mind, Jesse. I personally believe that he actually was able to gain extra information from Order 66 from Jesse's chip, because I'm sure that he pulled a lot of stuff out. Because of course the chip is in his mind, it just isn't activated yet. So we don't know what Maul going into his mind did, but he definitely pulled out a ton of information. And there's no, at least to me, there's no question to me that he was trying to kill Ahsoka. I think he was just trying to evade, and
yeah,
trying to buy
that's fair.
time. Yeah,
That's fair. Yeah,
because
I mean that's a good thought.
truthfully, I don't think pre Dark Side Anakin defeats Darth Maul. I don't. We have to understand that when Anakin beat Dooku in Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine was manipulating the battle.
That's a theory. I mean that I don't know. I don't know.
Uh, if
I
you
don't know. I
watch
mean,
that
like,
movie, you can kind of see him making these weird motions with his eyes and with his body. And I don't know. I just always felt that something was up the whole time. Dooku just looked a step slow the whole battle. Made some really dumb mistakes for Dooku, because Dooku's a brilliant swordsman, one of the finest. So I don't know. Just it looked like Palpatine had the whole thing staged, that he knew that Anakin was going to win. Of course, he could have foreseen it. I don't know, but I don't know. I seem
uh,
to think that Maul would be a very tough fight for Anakin pre Dark Side. Like, I'm not talking about after he goes and raids the Jedi Temple. I'm talking about Anakin before he goes to the dark side. I don't know if he beats Maul.
yeah, I think that's a bold statement. I don't know.
Post
I don't
dark
think I agree
side,
with that.
post dark side, Anakin, 100%. I would agree. Um, but and remember what Maul said to Ahsoka. Well, sorry, not to Ahsoka, but down in the bottom of the caves, or sorry, the sewers, or wherever they were at.
Right.
Here in the episode 10, he said, "The power of the dark side has never been stronger." Like he was,
Right.
he was
Well, yeah, he knew that.
he was
I'm just
feeling it. He could feel the power.
yeah. I just still don't think that. I don't know. Eh, Anakin's like at the height of his power, or almost at least at this point. I mean, especially dude, he was dodging bullets, not even like it's like no big deal.
Well, in the words
Like
of
he was
Obi-Wan,
having a conversation and then
in
dodging
the
bullets.
in the words of Obi-Wan, if droids could think, there'd be none of us here, then would there? Like
It's
droids just
true.
shoot.
That's accurate.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll never really know, because we're never going to see it unfold. But I do believe that Maul was purposely trying to evade Ahsoka so that he could show Ahsoka that he actually was on her side, which I think is crazy to think that if Maul had been less crazy previously and he didn't have such a chaotic record, that Ahsoka probably would have joined him. Um, but I think the thing that did it for her was Anakin, because she's so sold on Anakin being this perfect guy for the most part that she was just like, there's no way he would ever do that. And Maul replies that he's been groomed for this for the last few years, that he's being groomed to be the new apprentice. That was incredible. What did you think about that line?
Oh yeah, like I don't know. It's again, it's just stuff that we didn't know ahead of time, and like it's so much new stuff happening. Like this forever changes the way that we look at episode 3.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like it just does. Like it changes the canon entirely, but honestly, and I think in a good way. Like I'm not even.
It adds to it. It makes it better.
Yeah, it does.
It's not retconning it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what did you? I mean, when Obi-Wan said that he was on a mission to Utapau, we were just like, oh, like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, this is it. Like, this is literally the timeline. He's going to go kill Grievous.
And then talking about Anakin's special mission to
and then Ahsoka not being happy about it.
Yeah, and like it's like, why am I the best person to talk about this? I'm not, you know. And I don't know, it's just super sad knowing that that's the last time that like they're not going to have a conversation. And then Obi-Wan says something like, well, Ahsoka said, tell Anakin, like as this is about to happen, and then he says, I will. So it's kind of a callback to episode 5, but like what, I don't know. I wonder what she was going to say. I feel like people are like, yeah, it's no big deal, but I'm curious. I want to know.
Well, Disney has blown it for us before. We thought in episode 9 that Poe was going to tell Rey, I love you, but he ended up saying he was force sensitive, which that was a bummer. It's like, we could have told you that, pal. But this is Dave Filoni we're talking about. Dave Filoni always has crazy tricks up his sleeve. And I don't think we've even seen, I don't even think he's shown his hand yet. I think we're going to see some crazy stuff in the next 2 episodes. But man, Sam Witwer, Darth Maul, Ray Park doing the choreography, like, was incredible. Like, seriously, I feel like this made Maul's character even better. And I feel like his dialogue was absolutely incredible. I am absolutely stunned at how good his dialogue was. So
yeah, no, I mean, he was incredible. Like, oh, just the things he said were just so. There's not even a way to explain how awesome it is to hear him speak and to hear him do Darth Maul the way that he does. It is just incredible. I could not.
Chills, bro. Chills. I know there's been some debate among Star Wars fans that they think that Maul has been overused. Of course, I've only seen a few of those people say that on discussion board forums. Maul has added so much to the Star Wars canon. He has opened up so many more storylines, so many more possibilities, so much more.
Oh, I hope he's around forever.
Oh,
I want him forever.
We're going to talk about that now, because I mean, as we've continued to recap this episode, we've covered all the really big major points. That's the other thing that's being rumored, is that Maul, it's been rumored since last year that Maul is getting his own series. And it would kind of make sense at this point that he would be getting his own series if we really look at what's going on. Yeah. We got Solo a couple of years ago, which is actually a pretty good film. I got to say, it was actually pretty good. It took me by surprise. We see Maul.
I love Solo, and then seeing him at the end was like, what? Some people did not like that. I loved it.
Fantastic.
That was great.
Well, because of that, though, because we see that he's in control of the Pikes and Dryden Voss in that movie, that he basically owns the underworld. He's like the leader, and he was working with Kira the whole time. This opens up a whole new ballgame for them to do another series for Maul, to figure out how in the world did he gain this so much power, and what exactly goes on in these 16, 17 years.
yeah, I mean, there's a whole ton of stuff to work with, and I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do that animated or if they're going to do that in live action. MAUL, I pretty much guarantee is going to be animation, but and then we have the whole thing with Ahsoka. Like, is that going to be? I mean, it sounds like she's going to be in the Mandalorian. Who knows? It's never confirmed till it's confirmed,
Yeah.
but it's confirmed.
I have concerns about that one. I hope that that's good. As long as Dave Filoni is overseeing Ahsoka's character, it's going to be great because that's like her and Plo Koon are like his baby. Like, don't
Yeah,
touch those characters. Don't like, and that's the thing is making them live action. Now Favreau, of course, Favreau is fantastic. If she's going to be in Mandalorian, she'll be fantastic. There's no question. Um, but that's a very difficult character to try to go from animated to live action. And I say that because the audience that Ahsoka has had over the years, there is a certain expectation of the way she is played by Ashley Eckstein. And we know, as great as actress as Rosario Dawson is, she's not Ashley Eckstein. And now she's
yep.
going to be trying to basically take the reins from Ashley Eckstein and make a not only a believable Ahsoka, but the nostalgic Ahsoka that we all want to see on screen. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's the voice. Like
Same.
the look, I'm just going to be fine, but like to me, it's the voice. Like I I've seen Rosario Dawson in um, at least one show, and like I mean, she's great. It's just the voice is going to be huge, and I know they're not going to dub Ashley Eckstein over that
There's no way.
because why would you want to be Rosario Dawson in that situation? So I don't
I
know.
think Ashley Eckstein looks like Ahsoka anyway. I think she could have pulled it off.
I agree, and she's not like it's not like she's only done voice acting. Like she's done plenty um, of live action stuff. She was in That's So Raven, if you remember that show.
Yes.
From like was it 2 decades ago now? Something. Oh, geez, 15 years ago. So I mean, like she came over to voice acting. So it's not like it's this new world. I don't know.
Right. Well,
I don't think
here
they would
is
have just made that decision without thinking about it. But she was pretty clear that she's had nothing to do with it, and I don't think she was even privy to the fact that that might happen.
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of difficult to tell. Um, I can just say this that there would be a loophole because obviously Rosario Dawson's voice is lower than Ashley Eckstein's. If Ahsoka is in The Mandalorian, Ahsoka's going to be pretty aged. She would have a lower voice, so you could make that case that her voice is going to be a little bit more groggy, a little bit more raspy, and a little lower than it would have been in during the Clone Wars. Because I mean, we assume that she's probably around what, maybe 20 years old currently, right here, somewhere between 18 to 22, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I would
She's
guess
in mid to
20
late
plus.
30. She's in mid to late 30s in Rebels, I think.
Yeah, well, that would be at least 15 years. So yeah, she'd be mid 30s, and then add another, see 5 years after Jedi, add another at
Another
least
35,
another 15 years. No, not 30. Well, total 35 maybe. She's probably in her 50s
late
for
50s.
Mandalorian. Because think about it.
Yeah.
Because think about it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Rebels.
Mandalorian is 20 years, 25 years before Force Awakens. Is Mandalorian 5 years after Return of the Jedi? I think that's
I know
right.
it's 5 years after Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
think
That's
about
right.
it. Rebels. So let's say she's 35 at the end of Rebels, and then you see her at the end of Rebels, which is after the Return of the Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
and she's about 50 in her
Okay.
50s. We'll say that.
So she'd be what you consider a little like about little over middle aged. So,
Right. So I mean, she's not entirely that old. So as long as she survives, she's good.
and Rosario Dawson is 50 ish.
Really?
I think she's close to 50. I'm gonna have to double check my
Let me.
sources here, which would be Wikipedia. But
Are you checking that right now?
I'm actually checking right now. Here you
Okay,
go.
good.
She is.
Yeah.
Oh, she's 40. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
She's
About
40,
to
not
say,
50.
like, she looks really good for 50.
Well, yeah,
But
she's never aged. She's
yeah.
um
But anyway, let's get back on track. Let's talk about. We still didn't finish the episode yet. So we've talked about the Obi-Wan's conversation with Ahsoka, and so them leaving. So now they're going back to I think did they go right to the throne room, if you
They
will?
did.
Is that what happens?
Yep.
Yeah. So they go back to the throne room, and then Maul's just chilling there, lounging, just like he was in the last episode with Satine and
Yep.
what was that episode called? The Lawless.
The
Lawless.
Lawless. That's such a good episode. One of
Oh
my favorites
gosh,
all time.
until these two episodes, it was definitely the best. And then you see Rex takes Jesse, and then Bo-Katan goes back to
Oh,
help fight
yeah,
in
but
that
you
battle.
remember though, as Bo-Katan's coming in, she takes 3 shots at Maul, and Maul takes the 4th
Oh
and
gosh.
manipulates the bullets. Like it doesn't even move. He just goes bloop bloop bloop.
Yeah, I like that because we saw that so much in
TFA.
yeah in the sequel trilogy, so they're kind of
Yeah.
putting that into the so I love that. That was very cool to see. Not gonna lie, that was awesome.
Well, and
And
did you catch Maul's mannerisms and Maul's speech in the throne room? I just want to know if you saw the same thing I did. I'm not going to spoil it for you. What did you think about his mannerisms right there? As he was blocking the bullets, as he let Bo Katan go, he released Jesse. He didn't kill him. He probably would have back in the Lawless. I mean, he would have. He would.
totally.
But why do you think he was acting like that? I mean, I could see it. I don't know
Well, yeah, I mean, he's obviously trying to convince Ahsoka to join him.
that he's not that
Like,
evil. Yeah.
right.
Like, oh,
Like
look,
in good faith.
I can be merciful. Yeah. So
I mean, I hope that was obvious to everyone.
I hope
So,
so. I hope it's
yeah.
not just me.
Yeah,
Um,
anyway, that exchange was really cool, and like, man, that was awesome. And then what surprised me the most, and I think a lot of people can agree with me here, was Ahsoka actually saying, "Yes, I will help you." At first, I was like,
did that surprise
"Really?
you? That didn't surprise me.
That didn't surprise you?"
No, Ahsoka is a Qui-Gon of the Jedi Order. I would honestly say she's more rebellious than Anakin in a way. Um, Ahsoka is a more is looser than Anakin. Anakin, of course, he tries to kind of sneak by the Jedi code. Ahsoka would straight up break it. And I think we kind of see we saw that throughout the Clone Wars. We would see her directly disobey orders. We saw her do that in the Battle of Fallujah. She disobeyed orders multiple times.
Yeah.
She would
I mean, yeah, she could take from
defy.
Anakin, but at the same time, though, I don't see that as a reason to join Darth Maul. Like, I thought it was abrupt, but I mean, I get your reasonings, and I think that's a good reason. But it still surprised me. I was
To
like,
kill
oh,
Sidious. I think she understood the brevity of the situation. You could tell that she wrestled with it. She didn't just be like,
yeah,
"Oh, sure, I'll do it," but she was like, "All right, I'll do this." But
on
what?
one condition.
Yeah, and of course, Maul was being truthful. You give Maul credit; he didn't lie. I mean,
Yeah,
Maul being straight up with her. And that's the thing is, Maul has his days. Um, he said that Anakin Skywalker is the key to everything, and that um, he's basically gonna end up being Sidious's pupil, and he's gonna essentially get the implications from Maul that he's going to be the one that executes the destruction of the Jedi, and she just doesn't believe it. And I think and this is the thing, once again, as I just said, Ahsoka acts before thinking. Right now, she doesn't in the future, but why did she draw her lightsabers to fight Maul? Maul was just having a peaceful conversation with her, and she decides to draw his lights. She drew her lightsabers, and honestly, that made me mad. I was literally mad at Ahsoka. I was waiting for myself to be mad at Maul because Maul's going to mess this up. He's going to say something stupid. He's going to blow off the handle, and he's going to tick Ahsoka off, and they're going to have a battle. It was actually
it was the other way around.
it was Ahsoka, and I was like, and remember, just up to this, what did he just say? He said, "Every decision you've
You've
made up
made
to this
has
point
led you
has
to this
led you
moment.
to this moment." And I was just like, ooh, that's a good line. And then she decides to do that. I wonder if she regretted that for the next 17, 18 years until we got to that episode of Rebels. I got to wonder how much did she regret when she saw
Yeah.
Maul? did she regret the last time?
Well, we have
Oh,
2 more episodes left, so
oh.
it's hard to say. But yeah, I mean that was deep. And then, man, what was really cool was the window shattering, right? Like during that duel.
Did you hear the music?
Yes. Oh, so good. A lot of people are saying like, "Oh my gosh, that's saying that it's lining up with Mace Windu." And like, no, it's not.
It's
It's not
definitely
lining
not.
up with that fight.
It's not.
Yeah.
But okay, so you saw it too, though. So it was not just me who was upset with Ahsoka. I actually found myself kind of agreeing with Maul, and I was kind of like, "Wow, this is surprising." Don't get me wrong, though. Maul is like literally my second favorite character in the franchise. It's just, let's be real, you can't always trust the fella. But this time, I think Ahsoka made a rash judgment, and honestly, I don't know how it would have went down. I know Maul says they were going to be able to go stop Sidious. What would you think about a duel of Sidious between Maul and Ahsoka? What? I mean, because that's pretty much what was implied, is that that's what was going to have to happen, is they were going to go confront Sidious. Um, I mean, surely they would have done better than Kit Fisto, Agen Kolar, and Sassy Tin did. Um, but what would?
I would hope so. That was a bloodbath.
And of course,
That's horrible.
if you understand the full canon behind how they died so quickly,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot to that.
there's a
We
lot
don't
to
need to
that.
get into it, but
Still,
there's
it was
also and the novelization is also much more graphic. So,
yeah.
should you want that,
If you
that is available to you. Yeah,
yeah,
apparently the Revenge of the Sith novelization is awesome. I have not personally read it. It's not technically considered canon anymore, but it's a novelization, so
yeah.
it's you can call it canon more or less.
Yeah. But what
But
since we're on the subject, what would you say Maul and Ahsoka versus Sidious? Of course, the implications of them fighting Sidious, possibly revealing him immediately would have, I mean, be huge. But what would you think in a battle against them, against those three? Not good.
2 thumbs down. No, absolutely not. Like I again, I don't know Maul's idea here, but I don't know. Yeah, I I mean, Maul and Savage got their butts handed to them. I mean, they had a couple moments where they were like, maybe, but I don't know. Catching
I
him off guard, maybe, but
He would have sensed
I
him
don't
coming.
know.
He would have sensed him. I mean, the last time, if we were calling the Lawless, remember, you
Yeah,
just could feel him from across the galaxy. Um,
yeah. And
I don't
then
think he
after Son of Dathomir, he no longer even considered him a threat. So I don't know. I find it hard to believe that that would have gone well.
yeah.
Um, I really do. But
But
you know,
what if, for instance, they got there? Because obviously we know that he's pretty close to the Jedi Temple.
yeah.
What if you put Mace Windu in the mix with Maul and
Oh,
Ahsoka?
yeah, that would do it. I
That would
mean,
do it.
because Mace took him alone,
I would say
so
you take Sassy Tin, Egg, and Kolar, and Kit Fisto at their worst and put them in there. It's at least 5-on-1 now. So
no, they're all trash except for Kit Fisto. He was less trash. Um, yeah, that was a waste of life.
well, if you read the story behind why they took
Ooh, yeah.
Agen Kolar and Mace Windu was considered enough. Like they thought that would be plenty, but oh no, let's just take the guy who's known
Which,
for his starfighter piloting, and
yeah,
yeah,
and yeah,
but it's
they made
brilliant.
Kit Fisto way cooler in Clone Wars.
He was a
He was
ding dong
weird.
in the
Oh,
movie.
he was super weird. Like episode 2, like the one shot you get of him is making that face, and he's going, ding.
So weird.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think Maul would have a better idea of like what Sidious is going to throw at him, so I think that would help.
Sure.
But the two of them, maybe, but I doubt it. I don't know.
The
Yeah, I'm
only
sure he had
advantage,
more plans.
yeah, the only advantage I would give Maul in that fight is the fact of what he has to lose. I think Maul in that fight would be so driven because he knows this is his one chance. This is his one chance to be able to somehow right the ship. Not only could he kill Sidious, but he could basically kill Sidious, essentially get on everyone's good side in a way, and still be able to have his underhanded dealings going on at the same time, and he would pretty much be out of the Jedi's hair, just kind of operating from the underworld. Um, I feel like Maul saw this as an opportunity to be a hero, almost not necessarily to redeem himself, because I'm not sure Maul's about redemption. Um, but this was his chance to get revenge on what Sidious did to him, and I felt like this was a way that he thought he could perhaps make right for all the wrong that was done to him. Um, so I think Maul would have gone into that fight with a lot to gain. Um, Obviously, Sidious would have a lot to lose if he were to lose, but um, I think Sidious not considering Maul a threat, as you said, we hear him say that. Um, that might help Maul out in that fight. Of course, we're never going to get to see it, which is upsetting. We didn't get to see Maul and Vader in Rebels either. But don't get me wrong, Ahsoka Vader was insane. That
Yes,
was oof. So
man.
let's talk about
We don't
that.
have to talk too much. We don't have to talk too much about it, but I remember seeing season 2 finale of Rebels, uh, Twilight Apprentice. Is
Twilight
that
of the Apprentice, yeah.
Twilight of the Apprentice? Yeah, that was
Oof.
one of the best pieces of Star Wars I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, also that was just the reintroduction of Maul that we hadn't seen in years. Of course, now Maul's everywhere, but
Yeah, we were
yeah,
freaking out. We were freaking out.
yeah, and we don't have to talk too much about that. But we have a lot to get back to with Maul and Ahsoka. One of the coolest fights. Apparently, only some of it was motion captured by Ray Park and I forgot her
Only some
name,
of it.
Kim. Only some of it. They said that they filmed a lot of it, and it kind of just boxed them in, and not all of it flowed really well. So they used it as like a basis, kind of like a ground.
Yeah,
And then after that, they still ended up using a lot of it. So
because man, it
which
looked
is
good.
great.
Oh my goodness, it looks so good.
There were a couple moments there where I was like, "That's Ray Park,"
Oh yeah.
and it was awesome. And actually, the person who played Ahsoka was actually the armorer stunt double.
Oh,
So and from the
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, yes. So Emily Swallow's character, the armorer, the person who did her stunts, did all of the choreography against Ray Park. So that
That's
was
pretty
really
cool.
cool. I thought it gave it a lifelike feeling. I liked it. So another thing on that one, um, I mean, you pretty much the rest of the episode is the battle, and you see the battle happening with the clones and the Mandos and then Maul and Ahsoka, and just watching that beat for beat was beautiful. Like, oh, it's beautiful. Like, it was so good. And I would not trade any minute of that for anything. That was awesome.
Oh,
Um,
it's hands. I'm sorry, this was the best episode of Clone Wars ever,
oh
and that's going up a lot for me because I love the Lawless. I loved um, the episode where the when Plo Koon and Ahsoka go track down Boba Fett and Aurra Sing. I mean, there's so many
yeah, it's a good arc.
incredible episodes.
Oh,
Um,
so many. But
but
this is like
that one,
clearly like from the beginning of that first episode, number 9, you saw the green Lucasfilm Limited logo, like the original 1977 logo. You didn't hear the typical theme music. You heard the original, like opening main theme, and you saw, um, I mean, even the like we didn't. If you, I don't even know if you noticed, but in this second episode, episode 10, we didn't even get a Tom Kane intro,
that we did.
like the Clone Wars. Like we didn't get that. It was so it's really intended to be a movie, and um, which I think is so good, so cool because it started with a movie. Not so great movie. It started with a movie, and how cool can it be to end with a movie,
I don't think
especially
it's
as
going to end.
freaking good as it is.
I don't think it's going to end.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
So that's kind
We'll
of what I
see.
wanted to bring up here for a little bit. Obviously, we know how the episode ends. We see that Maul, and so of course they end up capturing Maul, and he's freaking out, saying, "We're all going to die. We're all going to die."
Oh
Um,
yeah, that was like kind of scary because in the back of your mind you're like, yeah, he's kind of right here.
he's
We
kind of
should
right.
probably not do this. But
But it's
yeah,
I'm interested to see how this next episode is going to play out because I'm assuming we're going to touch Order 66, if not have the whole thing. Maul and
yeah,
Ahsoka are going to have to escape this, so I'm and very much looking forward to how
yeah,
this is going to happen.
yeah. And then we saw. I wanted to bring up Gar Saxon. He got captured, but I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you're gonna be like on their side in like half an hour, like
Yeah,
whenever the Empire comes into practice. So I, yeah, and it's interesting. The Ahsoka book talks about her encounters. There's a few differences in like lightsaber colors, and basically they ray shielded Maul at one point and they captured him. So there are some differences. I don't know if we're going to come back to there, but I feel like that was the fight. What we got is the fight. Like this is it. And then to see that this early, I was like, oh, okay. Like what now? Like
Yeah.
I have no idea what to expect for the next 2 episodes. Thankfully, we get them on Friday and then Monday for May the 4th. So also May the 4th with you if you're watching on May the 4th or
Well, and you,
listening.
yeah,
But
and you were saying about that. You were saying that like, where do we go from here? Like, what else?
yeah,
What else could possibly happen? We expected Maul to be in one of the second to last, maybe last episode, and here we are now. And
already captured, dueled. It's like, oh, there's an hour left of this, and we don't. I think it's incredible though that we're. I didn't think we'd make it this far in episode 3. I thought we'd make it like maybe to Order 66, but like Order 66 is like 20 minutes away right now. Like
yeah,
we're gonna see Order 66 in this next episode, and
I
that
think
is
so.
exciting.
Well,
Oh my
and
goodness!
and that's the thing is because of so many different scenarios that we have going on. I have a theory I want to pose, and I know you and me have talked about this a little bit, but um, Dave Filoni, what is he doing? What does he have up his sleeve that we don't know about? Because there's a lot of ground that he's still
No
picking up.
telling.
We've, but I have a theory that I'm going to pose to you guys, and maybe you've heard this before, but you're going to hear it here. So back during Star Wars Rebels, if you recall, if you watch some of the videos, there was this thing that they did after the episodes called Rebel Recon, the Rebels Recon, and they would go basically do a Dave Filoni and the staff would do a recap of the episode, talking about some of the cool things they went into it. There was one after the second episode, was Rebels Recon 202.
Are you really gonna bring this up?
Oh, I have to. And
Uh,
Dave Filoni said in an interview, they asked him, "So tell us about the clones in Order 66. Um, can you tell us anything more about some of these clones?" He's like,
you have to do it in his voice.
yeah, and then Dave
You have to
Filoni
do it in
goes,
his voice.
and then Dave Filoni goes, "Well, to some extent, I mean, Wolf wasn't the clone that tried to take out Plo Koon, and it's as George said, not all the clones turned on their masters or something like that. But you and me both saw it, and we were just like, hold on for a second. What do you mean?
Well, okay, let me
Wolf?
clarify. Let me back up. I feel like you didn't set this up well enough. First of all, he's talking about Order 66, and he's talking about the episode in Rebels where the clones come back. You see, spoilers if you haven't seen Rebels, but I feel like at this
Oh,
point,
see, I was gonna
well,
I was gonna qualify
um,
the statement, but yeah, you can go
no,
ahead and do it.
I'm qualifying it for you.
Okay.
It's when Gregor, Wolf, and Rex meet up with Kanan. Well, they find them, and that it's that arc that we're talking about. Really cool to see Rex, by the way, who survives to Return of the Jedi and is that guy with the beard. So that's really cool. Anyway,
It is really cool.
and so let me just. My brother is obsessed with Plo Koon.
The world's biggest fan of Plo Koon, like for
Like
real.
ah. Like and not even like it's a recent like oh he's the coolest Clone Wars kid. No, he's like Plo Koon since like '99. Like
Since the Jedi Power
since
Battles and Phantom Menace.
since Jedi Power Battles, probably apparently one of well, unbeknownst to us, apparently one of the worst Star Wars games ever made, just because of its clunkiness and its hard controls and hard levels. It is very hard, but it was fun.
It was
Like I loved those hard video games. But apparently, like it's made like the top 10 worst Star Wars game list.
which I find hard to believe. Have you ever played Fly of the Falcon?
Yeah. Oh, I had that for Game Boy or like Nintendo DS. Like,
That game
oh,
wasn't
it
even
was
worthy to be
bad. I was so excited because it's a Star Wars game, but it was like it was like Game Boy Color graphics on a Nintendo DS. I was like, this doesn't work.
It was bad.
I think it was a Game Boy. I don't remember. It was terrible. But anyway, so yeah, he's obsessed with Plo Koon. He's not going to let it die that he thinks Plo Koon's alive and didn't actually die in that ship crash. So if you're a Plo Koon fan or just don't care, please let us know what you think about that because I think he's crazy. I think that he's Dave Filoni's favorite character. Sure, that's fine. But So he did want to bring Plo back, and George Lucas threatened to make his Order 66 death scene even more gruesome,
Yep.
so that he couldn't.
Now he
But
gets
George
his
didn't
chance.
charge anymore.
But now he gets his chance. I'm telling you, why did he even have to bring up Plo Koon? It wasn't even in the conversation.
I know.
And
I know.
does
I get it. I
does
get
Dave
it.
Filoni misspeak? I mean, if he did misspeak this one time, I will be so upset. But
Yeah, no, I get it. But my question is like,
Wolf
where is
wasn't
this?
the
How does this fit in? Like, it doesn't make
Wolf
any sense. Like,
wasn't the
why?
clone that tried to take out Plo Koon. No,
Okay, yeah, no,
I'm not saying that he's going to have a big story arc in here because he's not. It's evident that
he's
this
not gonna
story is
have
not
a
about him.
big story. There's no room left for that.
What I'm saying is that we've been thrown a lot of hints. I think, in my opinion, because we've been talking about this, who did all the clones respect? Who respected the clones more than anybody else in this whole series?
Plo
Plo Koon.
Koon,
Because
Plo's bros, man.
yeah, well, he said, "I value your life." He says it more times. I value your life more than finding this weapon. And then they said, "But sir, we're clones. We're meant to be expendable." And he says, "Not to me."
Okay, yeah, we understand.
No,
Plo Koon is amazing. That's
it's
awesome.
the
Yes, yes,
line
yes.
that occurred in episode 9 that made
This
me
is such a
recast.
departure from where we started.
Just wait, just wait. So in episode 9, this really made me think maybe Filoni is up to something here. Because what did Anakin tell to Ahsoka? To the clones. What did he say? To the clones. Um, I'm missing the word, Mark. Which one is it?
Loyalty is everything.
Loyalty is everything. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so that's true. It really is. And obviously their inhibitor chips haven't kicked in yet. But I'm just thinking about what Filoni said almost 5 years ago now. He has talked about this with Lucas before, that he wanted to save Plo Koon. It's his favorite character of all time. And obviously, yes, there's a little bit of bias in it for me, but I'm just thinking realistically here.
A little.
Why would Filoni have said that if he's not going to take this opportunity?
Okay.
He's finally going to get this opportunity. Because remember, Clone Wars was not supposed to come back, technically speaking. He's finally going to get his chance to be able to somehow save Plo Koon. And I'm not saying that it's going to be some spectacular saving scene, but I think there's going to be as you had said to me before, that there's going to be this montage of Order 66 deaths.
For sure.
And
I think that for sure, yeah.
I think we're going to witness Plo Koon get out of the ship in the water, and he is going to survive, and he's going to walk away. That's it. I don't think it's going to be anything incredible. I think it's going to be something like that. And I think Wolf,
Okay.
because we know what Gilroy said recently. He said that Wolf is in Order 66, but he's not the one who pulls the trigger, because as we know, Wolf ends up removing the inhibitor chip and doesn't go along with Order 66. So I'm thinking Plo's going to survive, Wolf is going to come back and take him into exile, and it's going to open up an entirely new storyline. They can even put into the MAUL series, where MAUL is going to have someone to basically go up against him. Now, I'm not saying this could be anybody, but I think we're going to see some Jedi survive. That's what my whole point is here. It's not just going to be Plo Koon. I think we're going to see Luminara survive, so that the Empire.
I think we're definitely going to see Kanan. I think that we're
Kanan.
going to see Depa Billaba get killed and sacrificing herself. I think we'll see Cal Kestis. I think maybe briefly. I mean, you're not going to hear him. I think that.
Go ahead.
Again, I think that's the only way we get any Plo Koon.
That's what I'm saying. Is I think it's going to be
a snippet. Way.
It's not going to be this big scene. It'll be a snippet. Right. We're going to see him survive, and I think
that would be very Dave Filoni. However, I'm 50-50 even on that. Like, I think it would be really cool, but at the same time, I don't know if he's going to devote time to that. I don't know. I don't know.
Easy scene. It's easy. He doesn't have to do anything with it. I think it's just the fact, is he alive? Because we know that there's a lot of Jedi that survived that really went into hiding and never did anything.
Yeah.
Plo Koon would not be one of those people.
They should be ashamed of themselves, but yeah.
But they should be ashamed of themselves. But yes, I don't know. It's just a thought for all of you guys out there listening to this. Is just, I really think Filoni is going to come up with something bigger on Order 66 than we ever could have imagined. I think it's going to be 10 times more gruesome than what Lucas did. Don't get me wrong. Lucas cut a lot of what he was going to do because he had to. but I think it's going to be 10 times more gruesome. But I think we're also going to have way more surprises. Um, and I think Plo Koon's going to be one of them. You've heard it here. I think you are going to see a very brief 2 or 3 second clip where you're going to watch him get out of that ship, and he's going to have survived the attack. Um, so
Yep. Maybe.
we're excited.
Maybe.
The next two
Maybe.
episodes are going to be fantastic. There's no question. It's just how are they going to leave it, which is
Yeah, I don't know.
there has to
In
be
the
more.
in closing on this episode, I'll say that Ahsoka in the Ahsoka book, it talks about how um, Rex and her basically faked their deaths, all these things.
That's
So
not
that
considered canon, though, is it?
no, it is.
It
It's
is
E.K. Johnson. Yeah, that was like 2016.
See, I haven't read those books.
It's canon. It's excellent. You should pick it up. But anyway, they faked their deaths. She left her lightsabers, which she dropped. So that might be changing. Like I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea. At this point, I almost can't even go off the book except for like other major details. Like I know where she ends up and how she gets into the rebellion. We know that. Like that's Bail Organa. I still am unclear. But Star Wars, Lando, Londo, Han. Just kidding. No one says Londo.
Jabba.
There you go. Yeah, that's. My wife and I've been talking about that. Shelby, she's like, oh, they say that differently, and like, I'm like, yeah, that's just Star Wars. I think they just have different dialects.
That's real life too, though. You call someone Taylor or Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow, that was really, really minute. You couldn't have picked a better one than that.
Jabba,
Taylor or Taylor?
Taylor
Like
or
that's
Taylor. Yeah.
no, I get it, but that's like extremely like almost most people wouldn't even catch that. You'd have to explain that 3 times.
You know
Taylor or Taylor?
Just trying to be of service.
I know, I get it. I would have gone with like there's Jamie, there's Jaime, there's no, that's not a good one either.
That's like
okay. I can't
to Yakba. I mean, that's a big difference.
Yeah, it's totally different. Never mind. Anyway, I'm just saying we know a lot of stuff about what's supposed to happen. It's not actually following that detail by detail, and I'm okay with that. So I really have no idea. Like I think we'll end with Rex and Ahsoka faking their deaths and splitting and parting ways, but I have no idea. I mean, maybe they'll recreate some of Episode 3, and you'll see Vader rising as Ahsoka is fleeing. Like I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Ahsoka is the fulcrum here in this story. No pun intended. So I think it's gonna end with her, and I don't know how or when or what, but I do know when. It's gonna be Monday, next Monday. But I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes, and yeah, I'm thrilled that we're here, but I am sad that it's almost over. But I will be happy that it happened.
If it really does end and we don't get more Clone Wars seasons, which don't get me wrong, the actual Clone Wars title we might not get any more of because this is pretty much ending the Clone Wars. Like,
Yeah.
From anything that we could have knowledge of. This is the end of an era. Like, this is sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is. I'm sorry.
This is truly the end of the prequel era. This is it. I'm
going to take a lot of heat for this, but I really don't care. Oh, I'm honestly going to tell you I enjoy the prequel era more than the original OT era. I am 100% being truthful. I think I truthfully am telling you that the prequel trilogy era has more depth to it.
Well, okay. Well, let me back up. Let me cut in there. Like I can see like it's kind of apples to oranges because here's the thing. After all of our EU stuff got wiped, pretty much all we have for the original trilogy is the original trilogy.
Yeah, they wiped the EU. I should qualify that and say that they did wipe a lot of good content.
And they focused TV on the prequels, which the prequels, arguably needed. Well, not arguably, they needed some more fulfillment. They needed more Anakin and Obi-Wan. Yeah, they needed more time. Original trilogy stands on its own, and all they have really as far as TV content for it is Rebels, and it's doesn't even lead up into it. Like it passes over it there at the end, but it doesn't exactly lead up into it, and there's not a lot of direct influence. Whereas the Clone Wars,
Yeah.
well, there's really two Clone Wars series, and they both
Sure.
led right into like the event. So it was like in the middle there. So and with those main characters, it wasn't B characters, it wasn't new characters. It was those same characters plus a little extra. So yeah, it's very full. I love the prequels. I mean, I was 9 years old when I saw Episode 3 in theaters, and it blew my freaking mind. And I loved it. And it's to this day, it's my in sickness and health movie. I watch it all the time. Um, I'd watch it every night if I could. It's just that good
I could still watch
to
Attack of
me.
the Clones or Revenge of the Sith anytime. I
Yeah,
think Revenge of the Sith obviously is a better movie, but I do enjoy Attack of the Clones.
yeah, AOTC has got some issues for me, but there are some really cool parts of it. I like Episode 1. Phantom Menace is awesome.
Phantom is so good.
Ahmed Best, he rocks. Um, Jar Jar's misunderstood, and
Oh man, it
it's really
pains
sad.
me how. Don't get me wrong.
You do a pretty good Jar Jar impression.
Yeah,
Can we hear that?
do. I can't anymore. I do too many voices. I love Jar Jar.
Ah, you better practice that for next week. I want to hear that.
It's so
It's been a while.
bad.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's almost like a yeah. That was
But
good.
here's the thing, though. Don't get me wrong. Um, you know, could they have done better with Jar Jar's character? Of course they could have. I think that.
Okay, well, this is not becoming a prequel. Um, let's discuss the prequels. But
where I'm going here. But Ahmed Best never should have been criticized for that role because Ahmed Best did that role fantastically. There is so many kids who got into Star Wars because of that character. I loved Jar Jar as a kid, and I still
I love him now.
I
Yeah.
still love him, and I really feel for the guy that he went through so much because of that. Like I really do because he's playing the part that they wrote for him. It's kind of like Rose Tico. I think she's the worst character in the history of Star Wars, and it's not even close, along with Holdo. But did Kelly Marie Tran? She's a great actress, by the way. Did they say Tran?
Tran, yeah. I think it's Tran. Yeah.
Did she deserve that? Absolutely not. It doesn't matter.
No.
She. I mean, that's horribly cruel to do that to the actress. She's playing the part given to her. And don't get me wrong, we did not like the character, but that is not the person. She's a fantastic actress. Ahmed Best is a fantastic actor, and they should not be criticized for whether the mistakes of the director or the mistakes of.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm excited for Ahmed because he's doing Temple Jedi, Temple of the Jedi, some kind of like Star Wars game show on Disney Plus, which actually seems really cool. So I'm really excited. So I'm glad that they're embracing him. I mean, I love Ahmed. I think he's awesome, or Ahmed. But anyway, going back to Clone Wars. Right. Going back to Clone Wars. Pretty much finished the episode out. You see Ahsoka looking up to the hole that Maul created, and then she makes a very quizitory face. I think that's a good word for that. Maybe is that a word? Quizitory face, and there's just this ominous feeling at the end of this episode. You see the ship floating there, and Darth Maul's paralyzed corpse. So I don't know. I mean, obviously he gets out, but we don't know how. We don't know how Ahsoka escapes. Maybe they work together. I don't know. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited. So anyway, Jonathan, last thoughts, final thoughts on this episode and anything else we can see going into next week in the next episode. Not the next two episodes, just this next episode. What are you hoping to see? What are you expecting to see? What are your thoughts? And then we will close and I'll answer as well.
Honestly, I'm not really expecting anything out of this. I mean, I'm not really expecting anything out of this episode other than intense action. I think we're going to get it. I think this is going to be nonstop action, truthfully. I don't really know how it couldn't be. I think we're going to pick up with them. I think there's going to be a slight time lapse, not a ton, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And it's going to be Obi-Wan finishing off Grievous. And I think we're going to hit Order 66 early in this episode. I also think we are going to know the fates of most of our favorite Jedi by the end of this next episode. I don't think it's going to take him another episode because I think Filoni is going to have a lot of content to fill for the last episode, and it's going to be very much um, continuing Ahsoka's arc, basically continuing Ahsoka's and essentially ending Anakin Skywalker's and becoming Darth Vader. So I think that's the way it's going to end up. So with this episode, I do expect Order 66. I do expect us to see a ton of deaths. There's going to be a lot of crying. Um, and I think we're going to see some Jedi survivals. And I think this, to me, this one coming up is the episode I'm looking forward to the most out of all of them. As great as last episode was, this is where everything hits a climax, and we're finally going to get to see, after all these years, what else happened in Order 66. We only saw 5 deaths, on screen.
Wow. And tons of assumed younglings,
Well,
plus
young.
thousands of people in the Jedi Temple
Well, yeah, but
that
let's say
one just walked around. I mean, you're just gonna forget those guys?
I
Come on,
think
man.
Filoni is
That's
going to
that's
show us some of the Jedi Temple. I actually hope he does. I want to see Syndraulic and Anakin Skywalker duel. Or, sorry, Darth Vader.
yes, just like the Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith video game, only available on PS2, 2004
Syndraulic, though, is canon.
or 5.
Saraketo is Legends. Syndraulic is
Oh
canon.
yeah, he's in Clone Wars. You see him.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah.
he's the Battle Master. He's there. We know that they fight. Like, that's canon. So
Yeah.
I would love to see that. So anyway, there's a lot of... That's going to happen this episode. It has to. It has to, timeline. Because by the time this episode ends, Obi-Wan has already been finishing up on Utapau. He probably has killed Grievous at about this time. So we are probably minutes away from Order 66.
Yeah.
Minutes at most.
Well, I don't know if he's killed Grievous yet. But yeah, I say we're within half an hour of Order 66 happening.
We'll see.
Give or take 15 minutes, to be
very
honest.
interesting if they waited till the last episode in Order 66, because I feel like they
I don't think they will.
time. Unless
are you done? Are you going to wrap up now? Or are you just going to talk for another 10 minutes?
Sorry, I'm going to wrap
on your final thoughts.
We love this. So I think we're going to see some Jedi survive. We're going to see a ton die. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they do the Kanan Jarrus Depa scene. I would imagine they have to do it. I don't think they're going to exclude that. I think Filoni's purposely making this fill in. But I'm looking
it's going to connect for
I'm
sure.
looking forward to that. I think that's huge for the arc. And I'm eagerly going to be awaiting to see what they do with Plo Koon. Because I am anticipating that they're going to save him and that he's going to be used in a future arc in some capacity, and he's going to die a hero. You heard? I'm telling you, Filoni does not misspeak. That was
Here's the thing. 80% of the 8 people, of the 10 people, I'll give us 10, of the 10 people that are going to be listening to this are going to be like, why the heck does this guy care about Plo Koon so much?
He is the Optimus Prime. He is the Optimus Prime of Star Wars. He is got the best lines. I'm sorry. He's a...
Oh yeah, no, he's hilarious. He's awesome. And it's James Arnold Taylor. I mean, gosh, that guy's good.
Can you believe he can do Obi-Wan?
Who also plays Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Oh dude, his Obi-Wan actually honestly sounds better than it ever has in this these 2 episodes that I've heard him. Like I was like, did that sounded like Ewan McGregor? Like I don't either that or I'm just getting so blended together with Ewan and James that I don't know the difference. But really I thought his Obi-Wan was incredible. So are you done? Is that it? Okay. So my final thoughts. So what I'm let me just recap 2 episodes we just saw. Amazing, incredible, some of the best. Actually, probably the best Star Wars I've seen since episode 3. Like to me personally, like emotionally driven, like incredible. 7 gave me chills. Like okay, now I'm talking. This is hard. I wish they weren't called episodes. So TFA, also I'll call them that. TFA blew my socks off. Made me excited to be a Star Wars fan again. I mean, I always was, but loved. I know you don't, but here, let me just hear me out. That gave me chills, like when the Skywalker lightsaber flew by Kylo and landed right into Rey's hands, and then Binary Sunsets. That was incredible. And then Rogue One was just a thriller and amazing, and I still get a smile on my face watching that. Anyway, but something about this, I think mainly for me, I think it's just because it's prequel era, and I love Maul and I love the Clone Wars, and um, Obi-Wan's my favorite character. Prequels, episode 3 is my favorite movie, and with it being my favorite movie, leading right into it is, God, it's like I'm sitting here. If you're watching, I'm sitting here like this the whole time because it's like this is my favorite movie, and like things are happening, and I can see it in a different way. Like it's incredible. Like it's adding so much to my favorite movie, my childhood movie, the movie that made me even more of a Star Wars fan than I already was. Like I'm wearing this red shirt, the red Star Wars shirt today, in honor of Revenge of the Sith and Darth Maul, and you're just wearing Vader.
Me? That's New
Um,
Hope, homie.
oh yeah,
My
I
favorite
have the
movie
same
of all
shirt.
time.
It's in blue though.
What's that?
Oh, we should wear that. I have that same shirt in blue.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, it's a great shirt. I wore it so much that it's kind of like crusty. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Why am I talking about that? Anyway, blah. Um, so yeah, greatest hour experience of my life since 2005. Um, I mean, I know, and I love a lot of what has happened recently, but when I'm thinking about the next couple episodes, okay, I know I get the stipulation of just the next episode. I agree with you. What I think is going to happen is going to be Order 66, and we're going to see all this fallout happen with Maul and Ahsoka, and somehow we're going to start to see them escape. I don't know where that puts us for the next one, but I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that this next episode is going to be largely, largely not Ahsoka driven and Maul driven. I'm going to say that it's largely episode 3 driven. And I think this second to last episode is going to be a lot of episode 3, um, not redubs, but different angles. I think we're going to see different angles of episode 3 because we know for sure that we're getting the Mace Windu, I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi. I know we're getting that.
Yep.
Like we've seen that clip in the previews.
Did you notice?
So I think we're going to get a lot of episode 3. Go ahead.
Did you notice that there was some different scenery when he
Yes.
said that in the cartoon, as we just saw
Yes.
here? Plo Koon was present for that. And a couple other Jedi were present. Of course, Depa Billaba and Jarrus. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, wasn't Mace on the hologram? So I think it's like from a different angle. Like I think it's from a I can't remember it, to be honest.
But there was more people present.
Right. Yeah. So I think that we're going to see. I think we're going to see a lot of actually episode 3. I mean, not going to be stuff that's going to change it, but stuff that's going to add to it. I think we're going to see different angles. I think we're going to see Anakin go to the temple. I think we're going to see a lot more of these things happen, and I think it's going to be a lot less Ahsoka and a lot less Maul and a lot more Anakin and Obi-Wan in episode 3. That would be amazing.
I would agree with that.
But so that's my black horse, black horse, dark horse.
I think you mean
black sheep, dark horse. Yeah, that's my dark horse answer. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that, but safe answer is what you've said. Pretty much the same thing. So,
what do you say? I'm glad we're on the same page because I think we're going to see Plo Koon live and a lot of other Jedi.
Yeah, I think we'll see Order 66. I think we'll see survivors, but a lot of murder. Actually, you know what? I would say this. I think you're going to see a lot of Order 66 deaths, and I think in the last episode, I think we're going to have. I said I wouldn't do this when I'm doing it. I think we're going to have a montage of survivors, and Ahsoka is going to narrate the end, just like Sabine narrated the end of Rebels. We're going to hear Ahsoka narrate the end of Clone Wars and talking about those survivors.
I would about lose my crap if that happens.
Yeah, and that is where you will see Plo Koon. If you see Plo Koon, that's where you see him. But okay, well, I think that about wraps it up for tonight, man. It is late on both sides of the United States where we are.
Yes, it is.
But this was a ton of fun, and we will be back next week to talk about. Actually, I don't even know the title for episode 11, and I don't want to know it. I want to know nothing. I barely even look at the title. I look at the title before I watch it on Disney Plus that morning, a Friday, but I do not read the description. I just click the episode and I jump right in.
Oh, see, I read the description.
So no spoilers there. Yeah, no. I want to go in completely blind. Like, I don't even want to know reviews before. Like, I just want to jump in. So this has been a treat.
There's a ton of other things we want to talk to you guys about too. I mean, there's a lot of other talking points we have on here, but since Clone Wars is really what's hot right now. We haven't even
Oh yeah,
talked about
it's number one.
Mandalorian, where that's going. We haven't talked about
Yeah, Rise of
future,
Skywalker.
and future Disney projects, and also about our website, which is going to be insane.
Yes. Yeah, CoruscantCourier.com. There'll be a lot of our podcasts there, as well as some Star Wars satire, which we're about to be building that library with.
Oh, and I love Star Wars satire.
Yeah, satire in general is fun, but Star Wars satire, that's even better. So we'll be getting some of that out there. We can't guarantee it's going to be any good, but it'll be there. So check those out.
Oh, it'll be good.
These will be here. These are, yeah, that's okay. Check those out. It'll be there. We'll be here as well on YouTube and all your favorite podcasting places because this is fun. And who doesn't love talking about Star Wars? It's the best. We love it. And I can't guarantee a new shirt every time, but we will be wearing a new shirt. So make sure you check out what we look like. We're not entirely ugly, but we're not super attractive either. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about this. Anyway, it's time to go. Jonathan, any last words?
Not really, man. Just I'm so looking forward to this, and for all of you Rebel scum and Jedi slime and scruffy looking nerf herders out there, I hope you're ready.
And in Imperial informants.
Oh,
You're in that list too.
Imperial informant.
Yeah.
I should have said that.
You're in that group too.
All you Bothan spies.
Yeah. Bothan. Why Bothans?
See, we didn't even get to talk about
No.
because
I will tell them this goober. Why did I say that? I don't know. This
just call you
this Slimo here. This Slimo thinks that it'd be a good idea to have a Rogue One style movie for the Bothan spies for episode 6 for Return of the Jedi. Like, dude, like, oh my gosh, I can't even think of how boring. I mean, yeah, it would be amazing because it's Star Wars, but like, no,
invisible.
No, you'll be. Yeah, that's in Battlefront 2. Like,
I'm not.
I don't even know that's what they look like.
But if we can do a Clone Wars series for
not a series, dude, you'll be lucky to get a comic or a short.
If we can do a Clone Wars series and animate it,
I don't get
good as let's let Filoni make another one for the original trilogy, because then no one can hate it because it's the original trilogy. Just saying.
Oh, we will find a way.
Yeah, the Star Wars fans will.
Star Wars fans, come on. All right, we need to end this really bad because I'm not going down this road again. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out again, CoruscantCourier.com. You can also find us other places on podcasts and on YouTube. If you have any questions, please put in the comments below. If you think any of our hairstyles are ridiculous, put that in the comments below as well. And also, what your thoughts about Plo Koon? I'm really curious to see if my brother is entirely alone here or if he is actually on to something. So let us know. Man, we enjoy doing this, and we'll see you soon. And oh my gosh, we'll see you Friday for the new episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
May the Force be with you.
Yes, we love all of our luminous beings out there in the galaxy. See you soon.